I think I'll start that as my new start off when I do my rants. JB here. Hope everyone's doing outstanding. December 6th, 2024, about 3:20 here on this fine Friday afternoon. Hope everyone's having a great day. Talk really quick about the market, some names I'm looking at. Go from there. Take a look at the S&P in the green. We had the jobs report this morning, slightly stronger than expectations. Pretty much setting up the Fed to cut those rates coming into the meeting in a week and a half. So not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday. I guess time will tell if there's any kind of geopolitical events that happen between now and then. Probably not. So that's a good thing. So other things about today's session and the last 7 or 8 sessions, another insanely tight trading range, $2 range on the SPY. So a 3%, 0.3% trading range. You take a look, and since Friday, which was the shortened sessions, which we had a 0.66% intraday swing. The rest of the days, Tuesday 0.3%, Monday 0.31%, Wednesday 0.49%, yesterday 0.36%. I mean, I shouldn't say insane, right? I mean, it's the market functioning properly as it should. But joking aside, considering we're at all-time highs, just impressive stuff. Yields are slightly lower. The VIX is down 3%, was under 13 for a little while. Hopefully nothing gets too crazy. You already see headlines. Fear and greed index is at low levels now. So too much greed, too much greed. I mean, you could make that case forever. So I still think 610. It looked like we might get there early in the morning, about 9:45 or so. We were at 609, hit that a couple times, and then couldn't break through. So it's gonna be next week. I don't know if it'll be Monday, Tuesday, but 610 is coming. We'll get the hats ready, and then I'll kind of rethink some of my thoughts going forward. That's that. Take a look at small caps, 0.3% to the upside. So not doing too bad either. After the close today, there should be, supposedly SP is going to announce additions. SP 500 is going to announce additions and removals, deletions. So there's names in there that are going to move after hours if they get announced. And of course, up for grabs is going to be Coinbase, Carvana. I'm hoping it's going to be Square, but definitely names to watch into after the close. I don't know when that comes. I don't think it comes at 4:30, 5 o'clock. Not sure. So that's small caps. That's overall market. So now individual names, and I put on the watch list this morning. I was going to take advantage of the elevated premiums on you created yesterday, just to lock the last couple. Well, not last couple. I only have a few left now. But some more of the January strikes that at times yesterday were up like 1,300%. I was able to get out for a little over 1,000%, and then I just held the last couple. I've been trying to look for later dated strikes before yesterday, and now that's almost like and I would call it an impossibility. But to me, the risk reward's not there, because if Roaring Kitty comes out next week or what have you, and it's a stake in a different company, or there's no stake whatsoever, the premiums are gonna start really eroding on you. So right now, you take a look, and it's down 2.2%, so barely down. But then a lot of these options are down 30-40%. So that trend will probably continue as time goes on. So I didn't want to be in a spot where I lose all those premiums. So I did that, and then I'll just hold the rest of those. And then you look, I still think it heads over 30 with or without the help of Roaring Kitty. And the Roaring Kitty trade would be to hold on for the implied volatility boom and the stock boom, sell them out, similar to what happened to Chewy, and then revisit. So that's Unity, clear, secure, laying. I wouldn't say laying egg. It's green today, but still that tight Bollinger Band setup. And I keep saying his name on Warren Kitty's name, or his moniker, whatever you want to call it, is deep F in value, right? So I don't know that Unity is deep F in value. When he was in GameStop was it wasn't a growth story. Yeah, and rants for other days. When I look at Unity, and Unity trades for 7-8 times revenues, and it's like I wouldn't call that a deep F in value stock. But when you look at YOU ticker, that's a deep F in value stock. Fundamentally sound, $500 million in cash on hand, throwing off free cash flow, buying back stock, doing dividends, growing at 25% plus on a compounded annual growth rate. Just all the different little check boxes you want in a value growth story. That would be it. So anyway, I didn't want to be in a spot where there was a filing that came out after the close yesterday, so I went and got more January strikes on you. I'm not going to say that he's following me, but I won't be surprised if he there's some kind of filing that comes out and he has a stake in you, but maybe I'm wrong. Either way, I think you can run on its own merits as just similar to Unity. And you start looking, tight Bollinger Band setup. Once it gets back over $30, I think it's off the races. That's Unity. Now Roku, and Roku all the way up to 8648 this morning, right out of the gate. Wedbush upgrade the stock to they raised their price target to 100, I think from 80. Kept their outperform rating. That's Michael Pachter from Netflix lore. I've anybody listens to my rants, I always talk about him or on and off. But you look at the chart, the fact that it held 80 yesterday, and then you look at it today, and it almost looked like it was going to have deja vu all over again. It held around the 82s and started to bounce up to 84. I think it's heading over 90 next week, and then if not higher. I do my rants for a while, so if I've told this story, sorry, it's gonna be boring. But even back in the day, it's the 2007, maybe 2006. I don't know, when Netflix was really just in its infancy, and it was just doing direct to mail DVDs, right? And that stock was trading like $20-$30, and I forget which chat room we had at the time, or maybe it was just on Investor Hub. But we'd be talking about Netflix. It would trade 25, 30, and everybody thought, Blockbuster was there. And then one day I go to the supermarket and you wait online, and then you start hearing people talking about what their queue is on Netflix. I'm like, their queue. I'm like, wow, this is probably going to be bigger than what I thought it was going to be. And then they were able to survive. And then once they announced digital, it went from 30 to 60 to 90, and then like a whole story after that. But then it was $200. They were getting rid of the direct to mail. They were actually doing buybacks at $200. Then it went all the way back down to 80, 70. But so my point is, and some of it is that at that time in its infancy, and even for a long time after, everybody thought it was they didn't think it was a sure thing, a guarantee. It wasn't going to be profitable. I mean, there's talks that, they went to Walmart to try to get bought out and things like that. So it's not, it was a long time before it was certain, right? And I was very bullish forever in Netflix. I used to trade Netflix all the time. And some of my best trades, I could probably post some links, were on Netflix. I used to trade it in earnings. I used to trade it, I don't know. One time, some German newspaper published my piece on Netflix. I'd have to go find some of this stuff. Just back in the day, 2000, I don't know, a long time ago. So anyway, just to get to the moral of the story here, or my point. My point is, I'm not saying similar here with Roku, but Roku has similar challenges, right? People look at it, think competitors are going to squash it. It's been every time they post strong results or whatever, the stock gets punished despite big beats and raises. And now it's like it's been doing this for a while, and I think it's at the point where it's like the point where eventually it's not going bankrupt or not going to exist. On the flip side, it's going to be very successful, and because of that point, I think at some point, why can't I get this up here? I think it's going to head higher, and I think what's happened over the last week is kind of like the start of it, right? So if that's the case, I think 90, then 100, then so on. So let's see. Oh, I have it over here. This is it. Do I have this? Yeah, this is some of it. That was 2013. That's not too long ago. It's like 11 years ago. There's other ones. I mean, these are all from the heyday stuff. So anyway, so that's kind of my thought process there on Roku. And unfortunately, it's so tough to sit there and try and hold the a Roku, because it does what it's been doing over the last year. Every time it looks like it's going to break out, it finds pressure. Hopefully, this is it. You start looking at the gap fills. I put on my chart 90 and change back in February. I think that's the next key spot. And then once it gets over 100, I think it gets some FOMO. So, all right. So that's enough on my little rant. One day, maybe I'll do a more of a historical approach on some of these trades and stuff over the years, because there's a lot of names over the years that, like, if you just stuck to that, it's like now everybody talks about Netflix. Oh, it's, Netflix going here, and it's, everybody's bullshit, but that was not the case. Back in 2013, I used to get destroyed on Twitter. What are you talking about? Netflix is garbage. It's not going to do nothing. And it used to happen all the time. And then you'd have these people. Dan Nathan used to be on Fast Money on CNBC. He'd bash the stock every single chance he got, saying it was a piece of garbage. Every time. And then he'd come on after it runs up. You're like, oh, yeah, I was wrong. And then 3 months later, he'd be doing the same thing. I'm like, come on, man. And then unfortunately, we're the retail trader. So sometimes some of these people who say stuff that are wrong, Doug Cass, another one, they sometimes they move stocks, and you're in the options. So good to get that off my chest. All right, so that's that. That's Roku. Take a look at Joby. It's actually right near the highs of the day here, up another 8%. I think it's down 2% for the week. So uh, all things considered, where it's run up from, I think I'll take that as a win. And then heading into next week, got to watch. I think 962 I had was the next spot. Maybe that gets hit into the end of the year. So would like that to happen. I was actually looking at possibly getting some April 15s. Um, but I think I'm just going to be patient, wait for the weekend. And especially if we get to 610 on the SPY, maybe there's going to be some shenanigans. So I don't want to be, I don't want to, I've been patient so far, and my calls are holding up pretty well, the ones that I have left. So I'll continue to just hold those. Square, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, and I was just saying before too with the S&P edition. So that'll be an added bonus, but I wouldn't be surprised to be at over $100. Obviously, I still need a large move for my calls, but I'm still looking to add some more strikes. But I want to wait for 100, and then I think there's gonna be some FOMO. So wouldn't be surprised if it's added to the S&P. It's going to trade 105 or so into Monday. My calls will be back to life, and then I'll continue. And again, similar to Netflix, like a story where people the bandwagon is just starting to get filled on Square, right? I mean, it's up 20 something bucks, but it's like more people, the longer it stays up here, the more people start to accept, hey, it's a $98 stock, and then it's going higher, and then it stays there, and then you see a big breakout. All right, so that's Square. Peloton disappointing. When I say disappointing, I actually broke that 1040 key resistance that it hit up against on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or actually last Friday, Monday, Tuesday, and then just found pressure. It's still up 3.6%. You had that UBS upgrade from sell to neutral today. It's cut like comical. You upgrade the stock one rating, so you don't even have a buy rating, but it ran up 200% from your price target. That's, I mean, just crazy. 300%, whatever you want to call it. Maybe next week's the week. Once that breaks, I have 11. So if upper Bollinger Bands at 1065, maybe that's some of the reason. So maybe another day or two consolidation. But I'm still holding my strikes. If it breaks 11, maybe I'll look to get some more calls too. But I'll just be patient there. Teladoc just disappointing this week. Not much to say about that. I mean, I had the Piper Sandler conference that did nothing. Piper Sandler upgraded the price target, that did nothing. The only silver lining here, it's still above its 200-day moving average, which it's been for a long period of time now, which is a good sign. Unfortunately, it's down 8% this week. So giving back some of the gains from last week. Hopefully it holds here, and then another catalyst was just kicking a button. I think it's off to races as well. A fiver for a secondary was actually recouped all of yesterday's losses. It's in here at 35.25. I think we closed at 35.45 on Wednesday. Still love this setup. Still love this name. Churning, I guess, after its recent move. Still like this for moving to the 40s. And still looking for some possible positions on TripAdvisor. Like I said, keep saying, buy when it's Arctic blast out, and then sell when it's piping hot. And right now, TripAdvisor, even look at the option volume. Back when I was trading it earlier part of the year. I don't know if I traded any. I have to go look, see if I traded any this year. It used to have a heck of a lot more volume on the options. There's like very, very minimal amount of positions traded. So sometimes it makes it not the easiest to get in, because if I want to get out, it makes it difficult too. So I might just be a little more patient on Trip, but don't be surprised if I add some Januaries, like 18 somewhere in there, because at some point there's going to be news, and the stock's going to be up 50% or whatever. And again, the company, they stopped their buyback, so that I don't know how much cash I have, 800 million, a billion. I have to go look at the fundamentals again, but they were doing stock buybacks, and quarter three, they didn't buy any shares back. And on the conference call, they're like, why aren't you buying shares? Oh, well, we're exploring strategic alternatives, which they already had a buyout offer back in the spring, which they nixed, and the stock was in the 20s. So obviously someone thought the valuation of the company is much higher than where it is now, at least a double. So yeah. Anyway, all right, that's it for now. Oh, also, Travelzoo still looking to get there. Similar story. It's still stuck here, $20. So if I'm going to deploy capital, I'm going to probably do it on a name that's moving a little bit more. But at some point, I'll look to get some more strikes on that one. Oh, and then obviously gold. So I was looking possibly for 225. January puts earlier, but then it's like, you have the weekend, you don't know what could happen, and sometimes people feel all juiced up to start a Monday, and gold gets bid up, and then I'm like, why didn't I wait till Monday? So I might just wait for Monday to add some more inexpensive us, I would call them spec puts, but January is really, got plenty of time there. But that's it, folks. Let's have a great day. Have a great afternoon. Have a great weekend. I'll be back. Rock and roll.